we're not just trying to make money, we're trying to make impact. And we're trying to show like what our community can do. Because people like to say this whole first thing. I actually hate the first thing, the first African-American this or first African-American that. Because it seems like when I hear that, in my mind, it kind of makes people think that, in 2024 and 2023, like Black people are just starting to do things.
Someone had to be talking and doing it, but it turns out that it's a Black man's working on this right here. Oh, that really piqued my interest, because anyone knows anything about me, I'm about us and how we can further ourselves, and along with any and everyone. But I'm really about how do we further ourselves, not only in technology, but making money as well.
Okay, so welcome to another episode of Elite Psyche, the Mental Toughness Show. And, on our show, we talk to people who are doing elite things. And they also are, as an elite individual, that means you go through some challenges. That's why we have the mental toughness part there. And I know these guys today are doing it. They're doing it big, but they also go through the challenges that everybody who's successful have to go through. And and so that's why I want to talk to these guys today. And the company is called Derek Automotive. I have Mr. Steve Branch and also Derek Bailey, the CEO. Steve is the EVP, but I've been knowing Steve for years, and more years. I'm kind of telling Steve age, not my age, but I'm saying. Yeah, I'm going backwards. Right. I'm going backwards. What's the guy that goes backwards? The movie Benjamin Button. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I'm Benjamin Button going backwards here. So, but man, welcome to the show. Valerie, can you give these guys a little round of applause? There you go.
All right.
So, hey, if you catch me looking down at my phone and stuff, I got notes in my phone, so don't think I'm not listening. I just want to make sure I get everything out that I need to get out for our listeners and our viewers who wants to check this out. So I'm going to start off with you, Steve, and I'm going to let you tell a little bit about yourself and introduce the CEO, because you have a lot of more information on Mr. Bailey than I do.
Okay. Well, as Tony, again, it's an honor and a privilege to be on your broadcast, because I know just how big you are and the things that you've done. Again, we have a relationship going back, at least 15 years, Tony?
2006.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. Big things together.
Yeah.
With some major successes. And, as we progress and go through life, we get new things, we hear about new things, and as entrepreneurs, we either take advantage of it, we work on it, or we go on to the next thing. And just my background, I come from corporate America, just like Tony, wind up starting a home-based business, probably about 25 years ago, and that's somewhere in the neighborhood. And it just, opened me up to so many things, just as Tony just really teaches a lot of folks, because I've been part of his teaching as well, is to do a lot of reading. And when you do a lot of reading, like the books that, Tony recommends and the things that we've done and been a part of, it just opens you up to so many different things. And I believe that was part of the training for me in my entrepreneurial state, to be open to things. So it's real funny how things happen, because, we were in some other business together, and then I, branched off and did some other things, in addition to building some other companies, started a insurance company, real estate. And, we did pretty good on that, me and my business partner. And right about the time when I was looking to take a little time off, my partner, Michael Miles, introduced me to or shared this information with me about Derek Bailey being the first Black-owned electric car manufacturer. It piqued my interest, because one of the main things that they talked about was batteries, electric batteries. And at that time, my headspace was, I actually build a battery to do something that I wanted to do. So it really piqued my interest. One thing led to the next. Next thing you know, I'm on the phone with Mr. Bailey, And we sort of had this bromance going. I don't know how to explain it. Tony, you know how it is sometimes when you just connect with the right people, you just kind of know it. And that's sort of what happened with Derek and I. We did our due diligence and saw that it was some great possibilities, great technology, anything something I've never heard of before, but I knew it was possible. Someone had to be talking and doing it. But it turns out that it's a black man's working on this right here. Oh, that really piqued my interest because anyone knows anything about me, I'm about us and how we can further ourselves, and along with any and everyone. But I'm really about how do we further ourselves, not only in technology but making money as well. And again, one thing led to the next. My partner and I wound up investing in the dealership here in Georgia, and that was God, D. That's Derek. That's going on probably 3.5 years now, and
2.5.
yeah, no, time sure flies. One thing led to the next, and as we started to grow, as we started to build, Derek had the foresight to round the company off not only with a technology which no one else has, which we he would talk about, which is our Proteus generator, because that's what really got me at first. But he also had the business sense to have some other technology and be involved with other technology as well. And that's we have a computer chip as well. Company really interesting, and to see that there's some black folks doing this right here. Now, again, we're partnering with a lot of folks. Don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But to see that there's a black man who's leading this effort, and then every time I get more and more information, it just really, solidify my thoughts as to this is where we should be doing. This is where I should be and what I should be doing. Fast forward, we now have multiple divisions within our company involved with them, and we're doing some really phenomenal things. So, as it relates to electric cars and creating a generator that generates electricity at the end of whether it's using any type of combustible energy like a gas, red diesel, natural gas. But at the end of that process comes electricity. And that's going to be one of the things that's going to be powering our cars and our low speed vehicles as well. So there's a great roadmap just for that alone. But it gets even better. As we progressed, as we matured, we opened up opportunities for people to be involved with us, to be have part of our to be have ownership in our business as well by dealerships, electric car dealerships, or electric mobility dealerships, shall I say. In addition to that, we have a technology which we own, which is brilliant, and I really love this right here. But I'm gonna really let Derek talk to this one because it just blows me away. How we are going to have our own AI with our own voice called Patrice, and it's kind of like the Siri and the Google and all those, but it's going to be our voice, and I think we can do some really great things with it. That's just the beginning of it, but looking at the complete roadmap, where this is going to take us is way beyond what anyone can actually think of, and quite frankly, I did not get it at first. We talked about it, but as we started, maturing that conversation, as I started maturing my conversation with Mr. Derek Bailey, I really saw the opportunity, saw where we can actually get a lot of people involved. So, as you well know, Tony, we have an electric car, we have electric bikes, we have electric scooters, e-bikes. We have a small beam, which we call a little car. We also have a pickup truck, and they're all in that electric space, low speed space, because Mr. Bailey has developed a car, which is our premier car. But again, we looked at that space. It's called the Avani, and we decided to restructure just a little and really push out what we think is going to be a premier spot to play in, and that's in that low speed space along with our technology. So I just happen to have the good fortune to have my head clear and be able to make a move 3.5 years ago to position myself to be a part of Derek Automotive and Exceeder Fleet and the other companies that we have, and that what gets me excited. But the other part that gets me excited, Tony, is we get to share with people like yourself, and you get to share with people that because you and I have a relationship. You know the success that we've had. So it's not just anyone talking to anyone and having any type of conversation. You know that, things that you and I get involved in, they're very reputable and very solid things. And we want to bring that to our community. And again, one of the things I enjoyed the conversation about, Derek, is when we sit down and talk, we have a lot of things in common, not only in business, but how do we get our community involved? Because our community, and talking about us, we are normally the last to see this and be involved with anything. And I think we've put together some really solid strategies to get everyone involved, get a lot of us involved and be a part of it. Because I often say, Tony, how do you be a part of something? Because whether you like this or whether you know about it or not, we're on a track that's going to make some serious history. And I just want as many people who I know and love to actually stamp their little DNA in this. And that's what we've provided. But I'm going to step back because, again, I really want people to hear it in its entirety and somewhat complexity of what it really is, so they can really grasp it and say, hey, you know what? It makes sense to me. Let's get behind this right here. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen a lot and interject when I need to. But I really would like to introduce, someone who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. And this has happened over the years. Again, like I said, we immediately became connected very quickly and saw that we had a lot of synergy there. He's a very astute businessman, done phenomenal business around the world. So this is not his first rodeo. But as you said, Tony, there's some challenges, as anyone. He knows, just like us, man, there's some challenges that you have when you're starting a business. But it's who you have with you, who's in your court, and how you progress and how you stay focused on the task at hand. And this task that we have at hand is, I couldn't imagine anyone leading this particular effort. He's the CEO and founder of our company, and he's a very good friend of mine. And again, Mr. Derek Bailey, please take it over.
Right.
So, Steve and I, obviously, like you said, we certainly have a love affair. I mean, everybody who knows me knows I'm in love with Steve Branch. But the company is, just make some adjustments to the screen. So I don't know how you want to, go about the interview. If you want to ask questions, if you want me to just give you.
Well, tell me a little bit about your background. Where you from, and how did you come up with this idea of the company? How did you even start with something like this? And are you Barack Obama's brother?
I get that a lot,
Okay.
But the ultimate compliment that I get is Harry Belafonte. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's the biggest one,
All right.
Obama's good. Yeah, but I'm a kid from the South. I was born in New Orleans. As a young boy, I grew up in a place called Tunica, which is outside of Baton Rouge. Only thing notable there is Angola Prison, where my grandmother worked.
Is that Tunica, Mississippi?
No, that's Tunica, Louisiana.
Okay. So
but there's a Tunica in Mississippi as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I grew up there early before I moved to Virginia. My mother married my stepfather. And so, I'm a kid, I started working when I was 12. I lied and said I was maybe 17 or 18. So by the time I was 15 or 16, I was a restaurant manager. I'm like 15 years old. I'm taking my employees out for drinks, going to buy liquor. I've always been that guy. And actually, I think since about the age of 17, I haven't had a paycheck job since then. So I've always been entrepreneurial. You could give me a cup and I'll turn it into a business. So it's been just a litany of businesses, for me since I was in my teens. And certainly, most of them were good, or I wouldn't be here, but certainly I've had a lot of flops, certainly a lot of failures. And so I think, Steve will tell you, I'm pretty astute for sure. I mean, if I tell you something is going to go left or right, it's probably going to go left or right. And it's not because, like I'm a genius or anything, but I've just made every single mistake that a person can make. That's what I tell people. I tell you something. It's not I'm not guessing. I made that mistake already. And so with this company, I mean, we certainly faced a lot of challenges. Number one, we're in a space that a company of our size, and certainly as a minority, you don't have access to the type of capital and things like that. So this is a space that we're not expected to play in. Not a space we're expected to be able to play in. But my brand really is, if it's easy, then you're probably not going to see me in it. I mean, I take another approach. I think most people look for surety. They look for like guarantees. If I'm not more likely to fail than not, I'm probably not interested, because to me, I'm not doing anything, and I'm not afraid to fail. And that's probably why we mostly succeed, because we don't wake up in fear every day. Like I tell people, if this whole thing falls apart, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is I'm going to have to sleep on my mother's couch, and she's going to bring me coffee every morning, because that's the kind of mother I have. You know what I mean? So if that's my downside, then I just feel free to pursue all the upsides. And so as a part of that, one of the things that Steve and I mentally come together on is we both really want to see a transition in the African American community. So I think one of the things that attracted Steve to Derrick Automotive is I'd had a pledge out there when I first got started that I was going to create 10,000 Black millionaires. And so the question is, how are you going to do that? And and as we sat down and start to talk, I think he saw that I actually had a path. People think that when they look at our company, they think we do a lot. Like, oh, you guys do a lot. You're here, you're there, but actually we only do one thing that's split into two things. So what we said that we were going to be is the most significant carbon reduction company ever, right? And so we approached that in two ways. We looked at where most of the carbon comes from, and people really don't know where carbon comes from. So, we entered the car space not because it produces the most carbon, but because my early partner and I, we invented this generator and got it patented before I started the car company. So we had a generator that one of the primary uses could be to convert fuel to electricity to recharge the batteries in the electric cars, because the primary problem with the electric cars is, they're great cars to drive, but no one wants the burden of having to pull over and plug in, to recharge them, especially if you're far from home on a long trip or something like that. So we knew that we could use this generator to attack that market. And then what people don't know is that data centers produce about 80 times more carbon than cars. Now, the government picks on cars because the things that produce more carbon than cars are things like super tankers, that carry goods all over the world. 16 of the largest ships like that produce more carbon than all the cars on the planet. But you can't really talk about that, because what are you going to do? Shut down global trade? So, government doesn't pick on that. The other big one is data centers. Data centers produce a lot more carbon than cars. But what are you going to do? Shut down Facebook and Amazon and all these types of things. So you don't talk about it. But as technologists, we look at problems in a pure way, not in a political way. And so we knew if we wanted to be this significant carbon reduction company, that while we attacking cars, because I had this generator, the other big spot was in data and in data management, data centers. And so, I'm a professional investor, by trade. So we actually came across some scientists who had already, spent about $30 or $40 million trying to develop photonic computing technology. They weren't able to get over the hump. And so when we looked at it, I was really attracted by it because, we're not just trying to make money, we're trying to make impact. And we're trying to show like what our community can do. Because like, people like to say this whole first thing. I actually hate the first thing, the first African-American this or first African-American that, because it seems like when I hear that, in my mind, it kind of makes people think that, in 2024 and 2023, like Black people are just starting to do things. When actually, brothers have been some bad boys like throughout history.
Right.
I mean, almost every major invention that's out there, we had some hand in. It's just that, it might not have been recognized, or published. So when I came across this photonic technology, it dawned on me as I was talking to the scientist involved, and I said, so what you're really telling me is that with these new photonic switches, that we have like 16 patents on that as well, and probably another 7 or 8 pending. And so as I looked at the technology, it dawned on me. So I'm like, so wait a minute. What we're really doing here is we're going to remake the transistor. I'm like, is that correct? And they're like, correct. And I didn't say it to them because these are mostly white scientists, but I'm sitting at my desk thinking, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wasn't the transistor invented by William Shockley? And if you guys don't know who Dr. William Shockley is, you really should Google him, right? So the guy, certified genius. I mean, he invented the transistor. Before the transistor, we had vacuum tubes. If you saw that movie with the Black ladies who worked at NASA, forget the numbers thing, but you remember you saw them in this room with these big computers, computers the size of, 5 buildings, didn't have the power of today's cell phone because they used vacuum tubes. And so Dr. Shockley created the first electron transistor, which basically created the life that we know today. You couldn't have this streaming channel, you couldn't have a phone, you couldn't have any of these things without Dr. Shockley's invention. But at the same time, he was an ardent racist and eugenicist. And so, he was one of the guys that, in the, Blacks Are Monkeys class, he, submitted proposals to governments to like pay Black women not to have babies. And I mean, so the guy's a genius on one end, he's the nutbag on the other. Of course, our community, is used to all this. But as I recognize that what we're really going to do is actually remake this guy's technology, I got excited about it. I was like, okay, that's the kind of challenge that I can get for. Okay, now, certainly, this is another technology that shouldn't be being done by Derek and Steve. It should be done by Intel or Advanced Micro Devices or, some huge company like that. But again, our brand is to, jump in and see if we can make a way in a space that African Americans have never played in before. So, as Steve learned about Dr. Shockley, I think it also, put a chip on his shoulder. He certainly wanted to really get behind this thing. And so, this piece that we're talking about, like you see on the screen, I Want Patrice. So, how this all fits together is as we develop, vehicles, we need our own operating system. And, most operating systems now come with voices. If you run a BMW, you can get a German voice or a Chinese voice or all these multiple voices. But typically in this choice list, there is no African-American voice, neither male nor female. And so with the invention of our new photonic transistor, we're going to be able to make a generation of computers that are about 1,000 times faster than anything that we know today, and with almost a near zero carbon footprint. Light doesn't operate like electrons. With computing that we have right now, we're trying to force electrons through a substrate. It creates a lot of friction and a lot of heat, and it's slow. And so that's why when you hold your phone, to your ear, it's hot. Because these electrons are trying to move and it generates a lot of heat, requires a lot of cooling. If you open up your computer, you'll see a little computer chip, but you'll see this big piece of metal on top of it trying to absorb all the heat. And so by transitioning to light, you get rid of all that and you get more speed and you get data that's not hackable, and all these great things are going to come from light, right? So light computing. So for us to be we're certainly among the top 3 to 4 companies in the entire world where we are in our development right now. So, that's significant. So, and these computers, since they're going to be so fast, is going to allow us to be the new NVIDIA. So, NVIDIA has these chips that they put billions of transistors on, and they're the fastest chips in the world. And so they're dominating AI right now because they have the fastest chips in the world. But their chips consume a lot of energy, produce a lot of heat, but they are fast. And so all the AI is migrating towards that chip. So, NVIDIA is a relatively new company, and this is a great thing about capitalism. And so now comes our new company called Tronless. And so while they have 1 billion electron transistors on a chip, we're going to be able to put, we wouldn't need 1 billion, but we're going to be able to put thousands and thousands of photonic transistors on a chip. And our chip is going to be 500 to 1,000 times faster than NVIDIA's chips. So not only are there financial ramifications there, but we believe that there are historic ramifications there. I thought that it would be noteworthy for a company like ours to remake the technology of an ardent racist who basically claims that, we lack the core intelligence to do advanced things. And so to remake this man's technology, I think it's not just something to do. I think it's a mission. I think it's a mission that our entire community would be excited about getting behind. And so that's why I decided to kind of like add insult to injury. I know that my transistors are going to lead to chips that's going to give me at least among the fastest computers on the planet, which means I'm going to be able to develop AI that's among the most capable in the world. And then I'm going to put a Black woman's voice at the top of that. Mm-hmm. And that's who Patrice is. And people who know me know I have, 2 daughters, great kids, very well educated. My oldest daughter, studied at Harvard. My younger daughter at the University of Maryland. And so a lot of people said, you have some like very, astute, well-spoken daughters. How come you don't use their voice? It's not the voice that I grew up with. I grew up with my Aunt Patrice, and her voice is the favorite voice that I've ever heard in my life. And it's Southern, and it's sweet, and it's warm. And if you're having a bad day and you talk to Patrice and her little giggle and things like that, you're just going to be a happier person when you hear this woman's voice. And so this is the voice that we're going to put at the top of our AI, right? Now, developing AI, just like developing cars, this is a big money business. It's really not, designed for small companies. So we're in a constant effort to raise money and to keep our projects going. And so we came with the concept of these smart glasses as a way to introduce Patrice's voice to the public. So the smart glasses basically just are substitutes for your earpods, your earbuds. I don't really like earbuds. They tend to hurt my ear. And as we develop our mobility products, our electric scooters and bikes, as I would ride them, I would always lose 1 earbud, never 2.
Right.
For some reason, I'm dropping 1. Right. And so I said that, we should make some glasses so they don't fall off your face. So that's why we first started with the glasses as an accessory to our bikes. But then as I thought about what we wanted to do with Dr. Shockley's technology or whatever, I'm just like, we're out here flexing anyway. So why not do the ultimate cultural flex and create the most powerful AI in the world and have it represented by a Southern country Black woman's voice. You know what I mean? I believe everyone in the world is going to fall in love with this voice. And
wait. Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly, I want to talk to you guys about a foundation called Viva Se Amina. This foundation is dedicated to improving the mental health of eliminating the stress and anxiety that happens when athletes transfer to meaningful career opportunities after they completed their time in sports. The foundation believes in empowering these athletes to drive beyond the field, court, or arena. Because that transition can be overwhelming sometimes as they navigate the shift from, having a spotlight as an athlete to uncertainties of post-retirement life. So your support is very instrumental. Check us out. Every donation is directly impacts these individuals. So go to this link and check it out. Thank you. For the people that don't understand, and I didn't understand what is photonic transistors, please explain that. And another thing, are the glasses like they are like shades, or what kind of glasses are they?
Yeah, you can get different types of lenses. So they can be shades or they can be clear frame. So we have about 6 styles, and we'll be introducing more. With everything, you have to start somewhere. So we have about 6 basic styles right now, and we'll get cooler and have different types of frames. But what we're doing right now is you always have to start somewhere.
Right.
And we have to continue to fund our efforts. So the significant thing about buying the glasses now is what we're doing is I'm the kind of guy, like, if you help me build it, then I want you to own it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the people who build it should own it. And so while we're still developing Patrice, and while we're still trying to become, a maker of shades now, which is just something else to learn, and it takes a little bit of time. You have to get your manufacturing in place. We're just saying that the people who support us now, people who will pre-order these glasses, we're going to give you equity in the company. Right. Now, we're going to limit that to 1,000, 1,500 people. But if we get those 1,000 and 1,500 orders, then that's going to fund the next development of what we have to do with this photonic chip. Right. So what a transistor does.
Photonic transistor, is that?
Okay. Right? Yeah. Well, first, let's just talk about a transistor.
Okay.
Right. So when you think about computing, because I'm talking to a layman now, so if there's some scientists out there, I'm not trying to get technical.
Right.
But in computing, core computer languages comes down to one thing that has to happen. If you watch The Matrix, right? We all watched The Matrix, right?
My favorite movie.
You saw those ones and zeros, just ones and zeros. Okay, those ones and zeros are created by what's called NAND and NOR gates, right? If the gate is closed, it's a 0. If the gate is open, it's a 1, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now a transistor is managing the rise time, is managing how fast this can happen. So with an electron transistor, this can happen at about 300 miles a second. You know what I mean? Of speed. Like it's up to, like, maybe you could get to what's called nano speed. When you switch to light, light travels at 185 miles a second. And we're talking about something that travels 185 miles a second going across the width of something close to a human hair. How fast is that? Wow. That's called femtosecond speed. It is so fast that it's not even perceptible. You know what I mean? And that's what light does. And light is able to do that without consuming much energy and without producing any heat, right? And so what happens is, what you need is to be able to open and close those gates at the speed of light. That's a simple way to understand. You have to make those ones and zeros. And what no one has been able to do is to be able to open and close those gates at the speed of light. But if you can do that, and that's what our switch, that's why we have switches that go on a substrate to make a transistor. And so Dr. Shockley's transistor used electrons. So he was forcing electrons through a substrate as fast as he can. There's resistance. Whenever you're forcing something, you get all this heat and all this whatever, but still a lot faster than vacuum tubes. And so while, the world moved forward on vacuum tubes, that was the generation, that was the technology of that era. Then comes Dr. Shockley with the electron transistor. And that's the era that we live in now. But computing now is reaching its theoretical limits. They can't make it go faster. The great thing about NVIDIA's technology is that the core technology is to be able to squeeze 1 billion transistors onto something this big. You know, that is the technology, because you're talking about something so small, 1 billion of them, but that's 1 billion electron transistors on that thing. If you switch those electron transistors for a photonic transistor, then you're talking about a device that's going to be 1,000 to 10,000 times faster than what we have right now. When you have computing speed that fast, then the world that comes next doesn't look like this one at all. This is when you're going to see not a monitor like I'm on now, but the thing you see in sci-fi movies where I'm just casting screens and I have 57 screens open and I'm doing everything and my car is driving itself, because the processing speed is so fast that we're going to be able to do so much more. But from a cultural flex standpoint, even when you watch the sci-fi movies, ain't no black woman's voice in there.
Right,
right. So literally, if we're successful here, I mean, I can't even really, I'm not even sure that we can make people understand the magnitude.
Right.
If we create this transistor and we create this AI, we will have a seat at every table in the world. This is national security. If you're computing with light, unlike electrons, you see, when you have your phone and you go to a coffee shop, electrons put off a signal. I can sit over there with the receiver, and when you type or you're doing something, I can pick up that signal. I can tap your phone, I can hack you, I can do all these things. You can't do that with light. So you're talking more secure banking. You know, you're talking computers that are so fast that they can't be hacked. But if we have photonic computers and the rest of the world has electron computers, I mean, you're talking a situation where you could do a denial of service attack and just shut. I mean, the power is the magnitude and power of this technology is just going to be, you know, phenomenal without getting too technical about it. The fact that an African American company is even in this conversation,
exactly,
is historic in and of itself. And so again,
so you're saying photonic moves much faster than anything?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're talking, if you want to Google something, Google femtosecond speeds. It's like 1 and like 16 zeros is how fast it is. So you're talking femtosecond computing would be a new era of computing of the magnitude of like moving from vacuum tubes to the transistor. Now you're talking about another magnitude, another 1,000% advance in computing power. And
now
so
you said if we get this right. Now the if we is coming from if you get the funding. Is that what you're saying? Because everything else is
everything. Well, we already have 16 patents and about 8 more pending. The technology in its core functions, we're able to prove. So we get visitors from all over the world, and you know, a couple of months ago, we had a team that came in from Switzerland, I think, and you know, I don't want to call company names, but they said that we were 3 to 5 years ahead of some of the biggest chip makers in the world. So where we are, the question is to what degree will we be able to hang on to this? Because you know,
that was my thinking. That was my
technology development moves at the speed of money. You can't do it without money.
Right.
Now, if all of the money could come out of our community, we could control this outright. But even if a portion of the money to fund the technology development comes out of our community, then at least we can have a significant stake in something. Imagine owning the internet, because with computers of this speed, if we open up a service in competition with Amazon's cloud, with computers of this speed, you would crush it out. So you can either sell it to Amazon and they'll continue to control the future, or we could get together and start opening data centers. So you know, there's a way. There's always decisions to be made about how you want to go with this. But if you don't have capital, then you're going to go to Amazon and say, "Look what I have."
Yeah.
And then they'll, like, you know, pat you on the head, and, you know, good Negro. Thanks for bringing this to us. And, you know, here's a couple of bucks, and, you know, and I'll be rich maybe, and Steve will be rich.
Yeah.
But it won't do much for our community. They'll just have the next great technology will just be owned by the people who own today's technology. But what if that didn't happen? What if we were more aggressive as a community? What if we decided that instead of asking for 10% set aside or 15% set aside, or maybe can the government throw us a bone? What if we start to think in terms of why can't we just out and out dominate industries? Why can't we?
You know, and I
we have the money, we have the athletes, we have the entertainers.
Yeah,
we have the money. What we need is the thought process.
We got to unite, and people got to understand that part is unite. Right. And if you have that, you got to hold on to it, man, as tight as you can to get this done. Because, you know, this might be a bad example, but I just really hate what happened with Dion at Jackson State. If he could have just held on there, but he got bought out. You know, like you said, money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
money comes in, and you know, what he was doing there could have united the whole community, and a lot of other things could have happened with him bringing athletes.
But one thing that he did do, though, you have to admit, is he showed what's possible.
Yes, exactly.
He showed what's possible. So another guy say, well, if he can do it, maybe I'll come and do it and stay. So, you know, you can't blame a man for taking his money, because
that's what I don't want the people to say about you all. Somebody come in and we can't blame Steve and Derek for getting that money.
if I can't move it forward, you don't let technology die. Technology won't die.
Right.
You know what I mean? Someone will see what we're doing. They'll either wait for your patent to expire, or the technology is going to go forward. So it'll go forward under our control or under someone else's control. Right. The technology is there. Everything that we do, Steve will tell you, until we have it built, we don't even talk about it, because we recognize that we're brown. So nobody wants to hear what we're gonna do. We have to show them what we've done already.
Right.
So we can demonstrate the speed of our switches right now, and then the money really is used to build foundries. And the way our technology works, the way we're able to open and close these things, is what our patents prove is that there's a magnetic field in light that nobody thought was there. So there's a magnetic field in light, and we've grown a crystal called a piezo crystal that responds to that light. So in other words, you shine the light on this crystal, you can get that crystal to contort. So remember I told you there's a gate you need to open and close? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you got that crystal sitting here, when it sees light, it contorts up to close it. Okay, what do you have now? You got a 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I remove that light and it opens. I got a 1, right? Mm-hmm. And then there you go. Basic computing. And
if everything goes,
I can build a computer program language to manage that process. So not only am I computing with light, I'm also storing that data in light, which means I can access that data 1,000 times faster. So just everything in life gets better. Everything around computing gets better as we move towards this photonic computing. Now, people will hear people talk about quantum computing. This is not quantum computing. A quantum computer, they work and they're marvelous, but there are some big things. They have to be kept 260 degrees below 0, and it's a whole bunch of things with quantum computing. We're talking pure photonic computing. 1,000 times faster, but pulling the energy of a light bulb.
Let me ask you this: if everything works out the way you want, you get the funding, get everything you need, where do you see this in 5 years?
Good question.
In 5 years, we would look like Intel. If I had all the money that I needed, in 5 years, we would have our first foundry, and we would be growing these crystals, making our own switches, making our own transistors. And so we'd be doing a couple of things. The first thing that I'm going to do anyway, because we always have to do things in this stair step thing. So what we're going to make first right now is a crypto miner. right? And which we're going to call femto miner. So it's a crypto miner is what's called an application specific device. We're not asking it to do 1,000 things. All we're asking it to do is crunch a certain set of numbers, and the computer will do that so fast and so simply that that'll be the first demonstration of just how powerful our computers are. But another thing that it's going to show is right now, the people who are in crypto mining, the reason they don't make money is because crypto right now consumes a lot of electricity. And so you have an electric bill, and sometimes the reward is not as much as your electric bill. So the server farms shut down. But imagine a situation where now you have a miner that's 1,000 times faster. But if your current miner is a 480 watt device, ours is going to be a 60 watt device. You see what I mean? So your electric bill could be cut to a fraction. And if you are losing your crypto operation because your electric cost outweighs the reward cost, if I get rid of that electric cost, it's pretty easy to make money. Also, since my computers use less energy, we're already thinking about like making devices where people could actually mine crypto on their phone. Photonic computing is going to make a lot of things happen. We can make our cars crypto miners. And if we do this like in the right way, we can really create a lot of wealth for our community in a way that we really can't even fathom.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is if we build this, then it's almost like we own all the flour, right? So I can give you some flour and you can make bread. I give Steve some flour. He's making donuts. I give this lady some flowers and, she's making crackers. But everybody needs flowers for whatever they're making.
Right,
so everyone is going to need these transistors. Dell's going to need them. Microsoft's going to need them. Everybody is going to need these new photonic transistors. NVIDIA just became the most valuable company in the world, superseding Apple and Microsoft. And there's a plausible future where our technology leads us to be a company more valuable than NVIDIA. Now we could partner with NVIDIA. Or if we had investors who wanted to take out NVIDIA, I think we have the technology that could possibly do that.
So speaking of transistors, let's go back to the transistor radio, and there's something called WIFM. Let's go back to what's in it for me again. So we're talking about the glasses, and we're talking about you buying into the company by getting those glasses.
Yes.
Can you explain that again? And what does those glasses do?
So what we're doing is there are also securities rules, and so there's what you call an accredited investor and a non-accredited investor, and most of us are non-accredited investors. The people who make all the money are the accredited investors. And so the government has a lot of restrictions on non-accredited investors investing in startups and things like that because it is risky. And just like I said in the beginning, we're more likely to fail than we are to succeed, right? So you can't invest in that. Now you can go buy a lotto ticket where you're also more likely to fail than succeed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The government doesn't mind you spending your money that way. But so what we're doing is, for our early supporters in this case, you're not buying a security from us. You're going to buy these glasses. We're going to take that money, put it back into continuing to develop our transistor, and we're going to give you what's called warrants. A warrant is a contract that gives you the right to buy a stock at a certain price for a certain period of time. And so what we're doing is, if you buy glasses, the glasses are $279. So I'm giving you a dollar for dollar warrants. I'm giving you 279 warrants, right? So that's a contract. And what that contract, the way it works, is called a cashless warrant. So now you're just holding that contract. Because keep in mind, you have your glasses. A pair of earbuds costs you about $200. My glasses cost you about $200. So for your $279, you're going to get your glasses. So you're paid in full. But now you're going to have these 279 warrants sitting in your file cabinet. Okay, now we put that money back. We show our femto miner. Everybody knows this technology is hot. We go public, right? couple of days ago, NVIDIA stock was at $132, right? $132. So I've explained to you our technology. We think it's going to be in the zone, probably better than NVIDIA. So if our stock got to be the same price, $132, then those 279 warrants would be worth around $36,000, right? We think that's a thank you for doing a pre-order with us, right. For basically buying glasses and giving us 3 or 4 weeks to send them to you. And for really just trusting us, because really, I think the people who support us now, they're doing a couple of things. Number one, what we're going to do with our marketing is really say that I want everybody to know that the people who are wearing Patrice glasses, when they look at a person with those glasses on, what they really should be, what we're going to teach people to say is, those are the people who developed that photonic technology. Those are the people who remade Dr. Shockley's technology. Those are the people who remade that racist technology and put Black people at the forefront. Now, it's only going to be about 2,500 of those people, right? Their name is going to be, just like Dr. Shockley's name is inscribed in history, even though he was an ardent racist, he invented that transistor. And his team, all their names are inscribed in history. And the people who are a part of this, their name is going to be inscribed in history right along beside ours, because this is not going to be 1 million people. This is going to be 2,500 people or so.
So is Patrice going to be a part of the glasses? I can hear Patrice.
Well, yes. So what happens is when the glasses come on, they say, the power is on, power is off. You're connected to your phone. So you'll hear Patrice's voice for the first time in these glasses, right? The next thing we're going to do with the glasses is, so right now the glasses will just be earbuds. Okay. Now, as the glasses advance, the next thing we're going to put in them is going to be a translation. So now you go to, South Korea, you got your Patrice glasses on. Somebody speaking to you in Korean, Patrice is going to be
translator. Oh wow, wow.
So, be a translator.
So I get the glasses. I don't have to have these things in my ear because I hate these.
No. Right. Yeah. Exactly. No. Exactly.
Oh man. Okay. See, now you simplified it. Okay.
Steve could put his glasses on and turn on some music on your phone.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, mine's a dead. My phone's a dead.
Charge them. Yeah. So you can, everything that you do with your earbuds, you're going to do with this. So I hate that too. I don't like anything in my ear.
I don't. I really don't. So what about
all the technologies and the arms of the glasses?
Yep. What about prescription?
Prescription. We set it so that the lenses can pop out. We don't do it, but you can take the glasses to your. Just like if you go and you buy a pair of glasses, you take it to your doctor, put your prescription in it. It'd be the same way.
Wow. And so if a person orders this, how long would it take for them to get it? 4 to 6 weeks. 6 weeks on the high side. Okay. Yeah, because what we're trying to do is order in bulk. You know what I mean? We'd like to put in that's why we're doing the first 1,000 people, so we can do 1,000 pair of glasses, like at one time, because it equalizes the cost. To take our switch technology, the next thing that we're going to do with our switch is now we have to prove its speed. So there is a calculation that all computers go through. I think I might have it here. So there's a calculation that all computers have to go through, right? Mm-hmm. This is how people prove how fast. So this little puzzle right here, it's like a puzzle. And they've been using this since I think like the 40s. Like when they first made the transistor to show how fast a computer can solve this. Now, like back in 1947, I think it took like 2 months or something like that to solve this puzzle. And I think now it's down to maybe, like an hour. So the fastest computers right now maybe solve this in less than an hour. And what we're going to show is that our switch, our computer chips is going to solve this in about, our scientists estimate, about 32 seconds. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. So you'll go from, hours to 32 seconds. Okay. So now everybody starts to understand. And that's what I try to tell people. It's almost like, when people, call me now, before I met Steve, you could have invested in my company for 10 cents. You know what I mean? Now I get guys who call me who I met, 5 years ago. Oh, can I still get in for 10 cents? Like, no. Not only can you not get in for 10 cents, you can't get in.
Right.
The opportunity
What does it say? Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yeah.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
That's what's going to happen, my friend.
That's so it's really not about the glasses. It really, the glasses allow me to introduce Patrice's voice to the community. So you hear it in a very simple format. By Christmas, we'll have her in a box, just like Siri and these types of things. So you'll see her evolve. And she's going to be the face of the technology that we are developing. So in the beginning, we'll probably be partnering with other search engines until we develop our own. You see what I mean? But she's a way to make money, to earn money that we can plow back into our research. But also, we want to go public as fast as we can. And one of the criteria for qualifying for public exchange, we want to go on NASDAQ, is you have to have at least 10 million in sales. See what I mean? Now, if I got 10 million in investment, that doesn't count towards NASDAQ. I need 10 million in sales.
You know, we can actually close it out. So, Steve, you give me your last comments, and we'll let Derek give his last comments. What do you?
Okay, great. And Tony, as I speak to a lot of people and friends that I know, my biggest thing is how do we get our community involved? And one of these, the way it's going to happen is having your DNA stamped in our company by supporting us. That's just what we're asking everyone to do. You know, we're not asking you to go and spend tons of money. We're saying, hey, you know what? Support us by purchasing or pre-ordering a pair of glasses. And do me one favor. Share it with 10 other folks. Have them listen to this podcast, and you get the full breadth of what's going on and where we're going. And you see that this is a solid company. This is something solid that not only yet you're going to hear about today, but you're going to be able to have this in your family, generations from now. We were part of that. Okay. That's what I want for Mom and them.
Yeah.
Tony, you know what I'm saying? That's what I want for them. So
I think that's the real opportunity. I mean, the way I've tried to design this, you ordered a pair of glasses, you're going to get a pair of glasses. So you've already gotten what you paid for.
Right.
So we're saying that if you're willing to step forward a little bit before everyone else, 1,000 or 2,500 of you will actually be owners of this company. So you'll actually be an owner in the most powerful AI company in the world. For some people, that'll be attractive. And for most, it won't, because most people miss most opportunities. And we understand that. But number one, the glasses are just cool. I mean, now that I have these glasses, I never use my earpods anymore.
Right.
So it's a very practical tool anyway. So if you just wanted to wait until after this is over and just buy a pair of glasses, that's great, because we're going to be at all the retail glass shows, and you just want to go buy a pair of glasses because they're cool. Then that's great. If you want, like Steve said, your DNA to be stamped into what we're doing here, then you want to do it now and be a part of this first couple of thousand people who are actually going to be able to.
So when they go to the website, they have a choice of different glasses they can.
Yeah, so you have like 6 different styles that you can order. We even have the video glasses.
Yours, Steve, you had yours on?
Oh, yeah, that's a pair that Steve had on.
Okay.
We got a couple of.
And so then you just connect it to your phone.
Yeah.
Just connect to your phone, just like anything else, just like your earbuds through Bluetooth.
Yeah, when you open the glasses up, it's going to automatically pair with your phone, just like your earbuds do. Consider them earbuds that are eyeglasses.
And the sound is right in here.
So if you go to the Apple store to buy some earbuds, you're going to pay around $200.
Is anybody doing that now?
Oh, everybody is making Bluetooth glasses.
Okay.
Lots of people are making Bluetooth glasses.
Okay.
But
so
those
people are familiar
glasses
with it.
won't have Patrice, and they won't get you ownership in Tronless.
And there you go. Tony, there's a story behind it.
You just want
Everyone
to
got
glasses.
There you go.
Yeah. Everybody is starting to make, because everybody copies all technology.
Right.
But our Bluetooth glasses are going somewhere. Then everybody else's Bluetooth glasses are going to stay Bluetooth glasses. Our glasses are going to become the next greatest AI in the world. And so you're part of that movement, because this is more than a product sale. This is actually, a type of movement that we're.
Do you have a Patrice voice right now I can hear?
I'm going to reveal it on the 28th. So I'm revealing it Thursday night.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. If you want us to come
Yeah,
back.
how do you reveal it? Like you're gonna be live somewhere? Or
Yeah,
what?
we're going to be live. We're going to do a live on TikTok and on Instagram.
Oh, make sure you send us the link.
Yeah, I'll make
so
sure.
we can be on there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow.
Absolutely. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I have another.
Okay. Well,
right,
look,
great.
man.
Group that
Thank
we're
you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for being on, and let me give a shout out to the sponsor of this show, which is New Spira. This is Kat and Mark Sterling. Man, this company, their slogan is where best matters, or where better matters. I think it's where better matters. Yeah.
Where
So
better matters.
yeah, it's gonna be big time. So I appreciate you guys.
Yes.
If you want to stay with Steve for a few minutes, that's fine. I'll just hop.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys soon. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
and everyone, support us. We're going to make you very, very, very happy that you did.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Derek.
See you guys.
All right, Derek. Talk to you.
All right, Steve. What?
Tony?
Tell us a little bit more. Just a little 5 minute more because we got to go.
Okay, cool. Make it really short. Again, when I first bought the dealership for Georgia, my partner and I, Michael, I had no idea I was going to branch into this right here. But I did have the business sense to pay attention and make sure that I'm partnering with someone who had vision. Mm-hmm. And here we are today, now the executive vice president of a company, which we know is going to be a Fortune 500 company and Black owned. Again, I like to say that because it is. We have other investors as well and other folks involved, but who's leading right now is us. And I'm just asking, Tony, you and people that I know, I'm not going to put you in a headlock. All I'm going to say, you know what? Support us. Just support us, man, because you're going to hear a lot about it. There's some other opportunities that I have out there. I have a jumpstart program where I can put someone in business anywhere with any one of our products, from our cars to our bikes to our scooters. I have a lot of opportunity for folks. Again, one of our second bikes, we're going to be hiring folks in Augusta, Georgia is where we're going to start building that bike. And that may not happen to the first part of next year, but that's going to be a bike by us, made in the United States by us as well.
Okay.
So again, that's putting people to work. So as we grow, as we mature, we want as many things in place, and people who I know and love, who come from some same places I come from and look like me, to at least have a little piece of it. Because make no mistakes, it's happening. We're kind of quiet about a lot of things. We kind of make sure we're kind of solid on the things that we want to put out there, because as you say, man, with us, we got to show and prove. That's why we have the dealerships, because you can actually go and put your eyes on a car made by us. You can do that. So I understand how we are. So again, I thank you, Tony. Again, I had the good fortune of partnering with Derek Bailey. Awesome gentleman. Please check us out. And Tony, thank you for taking time, man. It's fortuitous how things happen. Again, we just ran into each other again, friends for a long time, success. And I'm so thankful and grateful that you said, hey, man, I've been hearing about you. Great work. And we just continue that conversation.
Before you go, Valerie, pop back on and ask this question so we can make sure that it come out right. Valerie has a question.
Okay. My question was, looking at your site, the one with the camera and video is already available, and the Patrice is a pre-order. Can you explain the difference in that?
Everything is pre-order. Everything is pre-order. Everything is a pre-order. So when you order, it's not going to come. What you're going to get is a nice package, saying thank you from us. In addition to that, it's going to have your official documentation for your warrants. So you'll have that in your hand. And then just look for the next month or two before you start receiving your product.
Does the one that says Bluetooth smart glasses with video camera, it doesn't say anything about the Patrice on it. Does that have that as well?
All of them going to have Patrice.
Okay.
All of our glasses going to have Patrice. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Steve, I appreciate it, man. We'll talk later on, and give us a few days. We'll get this edited and have it ready.
Outstanding.
Let you know. All right, man.
Appreciate everything you're doing, my friend.
Okay. All right.